Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good morning, Bay.
आप सभी लोगों को हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते.
Namaskara.
नमस्कार.
खुशामदीद.
वणक्कम.
सत श्री अकाल.
మీకు అందరికీ వందనము.
जय स्वामी नारायण.
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय जनेंद्र.
हमारे स्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते हैं याली मदद.
मौला अली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजी बंधुओं को बोलेंगे नीसा बोला बदजन. हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे. मैं से फालतू बाबा.
And of course, myself, Faltu Rani, लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time that's going to make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बंद जाने.
And अब कोई भी अभी के लिए let's go quickly take a look at what's happening on the roads with रास्ते का हाल today.
It's time for the Bandu traffic update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
All right, John, first and foremost, traffic से पहले weather देखा जाए कैसा है. It might seem cloudy right now, but it'll clear up, but John.
It's beautiful outside.
It's beautiful, but you know what, Faldani? It's going to be going up in heat-wise. What? Yeah, it's going to be in the upper 70s.
We can do outdoor events now, Alta
Oh
Baba.
my God. Okay, fine. Is that something directly came by the office of Cody, Dr. Cody? Sarah Cody?
I don't know. I
Oh
think
my
there's something that
God.
came, right? I forgot.
Sarah Cody, they've got permission Cody. I just said the slogan in Kannada. I said Sarah Cody, give permission Cody.
Oh, okay, like that. Oh.
As in Cody means give also in Kannada. So they see advantage of being multilingual, but you can actually focus on only you can laugh about it. And yes, but just traffic wise, what is the point of giving traffic update for already?
Why? Nobody is traveling, Alta Baba. What are you talking about? What, seriously?
There's no traffic. Okay, there's
What? We saw traffic on the way when you
as in there's no incidents to report, Faltu. It's like, hey, I'm not actually saying that. It just makes my life interesting if there's no report of things. Actually, it's not. It's become boring right now. Almost 1 year. Oh my God, can you imagine, Faltu? 341 days.
Wow.
341 days of sheltering in place. Why am I saying sheltering in place? But I'm keeping track. Yes, I'm keeping track. I just want to know how this world actually is taking it. Because moment with 365, Barajan, I will celebrate anniversary.
What anniversary you'll celebrate?
Sheltering in place anniversary.
With nice another COVID-inspired creative
you never
video?
know. You never know. I'm actually do it also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of
But by
demand
the way, the shirt looks very nice, Alta Baba. You've lost so much weight, it fits very nicely.
So she actually called me fat in past tense.
Initially, it was in the past tense, yeah.
Oh,
now
that
it fits very
usually
nicely.
when I actually wore it last time, she never said anything about it. Now she says like, you were fat, but now you aren't.
Whatever, man. Just take a compliment the way it's supposed to be taken.
Okay, thank you, Faltuani. Thank you so much for that. And of course, today is not Compliment Tuesday. Today actually is just a Tuesday, Barajam. And we hope it'll become terrific for you guys after listening to what's happening with the news headlines for you guys. जो अभी लेके आ रहे हैं हमारे Faltuani जी. Faltuani, are you ready?
Yes, Alta Baba.
Well, then if you actually miss out any of the news headlines we share with you guys on air, here's a small thing for you guys. Do not worry about it. If at all you're actually loading up the car, trying to get to the place, blah, 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 and you missed out the headlines, we're back to the news in detail after the Gajan Kita. So you actually don't lose out anything. Now, even after that, you say, oh no, I was trying to drop the kids, and suddenly you can't drop the kids if there's not a valid excuse. But you might say, oh, actually I was flipping the dosa and I missed out on the news part of it. Well, here's what I'm telling you. Doesn't matter. Even if you flip the dosa, you focus on dosa, that's important. What's on the tawa, what's on the griddle is very important. Pancakes, dosa, whatever it is. Focus on that. Come back to us, listen to us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Radio-D-Hotties. Yes, it's available for you guys to check out on demand, right? And apart from that, what for all, even that you don't want to do, you say, no, I'm a person who's going to go totally anti-Zuckerberg. Please do it because Zuckerberg actually gave in for fears of the GOP. That's what I read yesterday actually. I was very surprised.
Whoa.
How, what? A multi-billion dollars was scared of the conservatives on his platform.
Really?
So they had to cater to their needs, I believe.
Oh my God.
So conservatives actually are kind of, he's trying to say that he got bullied, but I don't believe it. He's a conservative.
Whoa.
Anyway, but that's a secondary, that's a different topic, totally different show probably. But the headlines coming up right now for you guys, Faltwani, what are the headlines for today?
Well, Alta Baba, Trump may soon have to answer rape allegations under oath. Former U.S. House Security Chief denies optics dictated Jan 6 decisions at the Capitol. Fauci says that he sees the US CDC relaxing some COVID-19 guidelines very soon, according to a news report from CNN. Pfizer is going to be shipping 13 million COVID-19 vaccine doses per week to the United States by mid-March, according to their executive. Biden leads Americans in a moment of silence yesterday to mourn 500,000 COVID-19 deaths. The Senate weighs a historic interior nominee, Republicans to be grilled on fossil fuel. Senators also interrogating nominee Javier Becerra, and you'll get more information about that also shortly. Saudi Arabia is being sued by families of victims of the 2019 Florida base attack. Over 7.9 million Texans are still facing disrupted water supplies. And remember how Facebook had unfriended Australia? Well, they've refriended them after changes have been made to their media laws. Coins, a steep drop drags Tesla, ARK ETFs along for the ride. SolarWinds, Microsoft, FireEye, and CrowdStrike executives are going to be getting ready for a Senate grilling. And in news from India, BJP sweeps Gujarat civic polls. AAP makes some inroads, and there's a huge setback for Congress. And also in the farmers' protest, the farmers are saying that they will gherao the parliament if the government does not repeal these 3 agriculture laws, according to Tikait. And of course, with regard to the Disha Ravi case, she was granted bail. Being editor of an innocuous toolkit is no offense, is what the court said while granting her bail.
Oh my God, the judges actually have, okay, anyway. But that was your headlines for today. And of course, if you're wondering, oh my God, that's like, nothing. What is important about? Well, don't worry, man. Just a headline, really a teaser, right, Faltwani? And the news in detail is going to come for you guys. So everybody's like one-line news for everybody. Well, that's important, right? Ask you one thing, when you read a newspaper, right? I don't know how many of you read. Faltwani, you used to read newspapers, right? Like, I'm sure your dad and your mom would have made you read newspapers, because my dad and mom used to make me read newspapers.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Literally. I'm supposed to read 1 column or 2 columns of it and then go to school.
Correct.
Well, how about you? Like, hold 2-3 papers, huh?
Yeah. I had to read the... there are different sections in the newspaper,
Correct,
right?
yeah.
So I had to read, get headlines from the main political headlines, like what I'm doing right now, sports headlines and different parts of the newspaper.
And then what are you supposed to do with that?
And then I'm supposed to discuss it with my dad.
Oh, wonderful. I used to be the part of discussion. I used to be like, so what do you think about that?
That you never read it? Yeah.
You know what the best part is?
For the longest time, Alto is an avid reader now, but for the longest time, he would not read anything that didn't have pictures in it.
Excuse me. First of all, Faltari, let me tell you one thing. Journalism, I learned very early. Okay? You know what I realized, Faltari? When you're reading a news article, always the first few sentences are the entire topic statement, what's going to be covered in the news in detail.
Yeah.
Headlines are the headlines something the editor puts into it. Like, they do it, right? But the actual content of a particular big article is there in the first few paragraph itself. That's a little bit of a cheat for you guys. So, not that you can assume stuff. You can actually start a discussion and then you can just learn more by other people reading the article. No, but just listen to Good Body Babe. Faltari does a thorough work of actually giving you full detailed news when she goes into it. But in the meanwhile, Bajan, I am very well known for giving you detailed songs. And here's a nice song which I think everybody should do it, Bandhan. I think everybody should take panga in life. Don't take panga in life. What's the point there? Come on. What's fun in that? Right, Faltani?
Yeah.
If somebody tells you don't do something, actually, if it's very bad, don't do it. But ask the question, why? Why not? Right, Faltani? That's what I always ask people. People ask me, why you talk so fast? And I say, why not? Just kidding. मन की जो सुने वो ये चंगा अपने मन की सुनो And this song, Brother Jan, is the movie Panga, and you must recognize who the voices are: Siddharth Mahadevan, Divya Kumar, and Harshdeep Kaur. There is Brother Jan. And if you wonder who the lyrics are of this particular song, by Jad Akhtar. Arey, what are you wondering? I didn't tell you who the music directors are. Well, Baljan, you're enjoying the song, right? It's wonderful, right? The beats, right? Fits perfectly with the words, right? Ehsan Loy, Shankar Ehsan Loy. And don't worry, Baljan, और आएगा एक गाना और बजाऊंगा बल्कि आप लोगों के लिए, because I want this गाना to be stuck in your head. मतलब आपके जहन में ऐसे अटका पड़ेगा कि you should actually take पंगा. अपने दिल की सुनो, then only will be चंगा. Right, Faltoni? Yes, Baljan, अभी we'll go and see what is news. Who is changa and who's becoming nanga? In our news, Baljan, right now coming up, Faltoni?
क्या?
I was hoping to talk about, Trump and everything.
Yes, Alta Baba, I'm definitely going to talk about your favorite Trump.
Yes, please.
Trump.
I like Cheetos.
Oh God.
No, but he's a cheetah actually.
What? He's a cheetah, that's true. He's
Not
a big cheetah.
Yeah.
During a December visit to New York City, writer E. Jean Carroll said she went shopping with a fashion consultant to find the best outfit for one of the most important days of her life, when she would sit face to face with the man she accuses of raping her decades ago, former President Donald Trump.
Decades ago?
Yeah.
Okay, but Brett Kavanaugh, nothing happened. What will happen over here? Seriously, I really want to ask this Faltoni. Go on.
The author and journalist hopes that the day will come this year. Her lawyers are seeking to depose Trump in a defamation lawsuit that Carroll filed against the former president in November 2019 after he denied her accusation that he raped her at a Manhattan department store in the mid-1990s. So this is a defamation suit. It's not a rape case.
Oh.
Yeah, because a rape, you have statute of limitations, right?
Oh, you do?
Yeah, of course
That's
you do.
That's not fair, man. Seriously.
But how can you prove a rape case after so many years?
Unfortunately, that's a sad part, right? That all gets. I'm really still disturbed by what happened to Brett Kavanaugh's situation.
Yes, and Trump actually said that he never knew Carroll and accused her of lying to sell her new book, adding that she type. She plans to be there if Trump is deposed. I'm living for the moment to walk into the room, to sit across the table from him. I think of it every single day, she said in an interview. Carroll, who is now 77, a former Elle magazine columnist, seeks unspecified damages in her lawsuit and a retraction of Trump's statements. It is one of two defamation cases involving sexual misconduct allegations against Donald Trump that could move forward faster now that he has left the presidency. So, while in office, his lawyers delayed the case in part by arguing that the pressing duties of his office made responding to civil lawsuits almost impossible. So, we'll bring you updates on that for sure right here on Radio D Hotties. The U.S. House of Representatives' former top security official on Tuesday denied authorities had rejected stationing National Guard forces at the Capitol last month ahead of a rally by Donald Trump supporters out of concerns that it might look bad. Paul Irving, the House's former Sergeant at Arms, instead said that intelligence had not been warranted having troops at the Capitol on Jan 6th when supporters of the then president attacked the building, 5 dead. Irving said that 2 days before the event, he had discussed the possible use of 125 National Guard troops with then Capitol Police Chief Stevenson and former Senate Sergeant at Arms Michael Stenger. Optics, as portrayed in the media, played no role in my decisions about security, Irving told two Senate panels, opening a probe into the security failures before and during the riot. We did discuss whether the intelligence warranted having troops at the Capitol. The collective judgment at that time was no, the intelligence did not warrant that. Anthony Fauci is saying that he expects the US CDC to soon relax some COVID-19 recommendations aimed at curbing its spread for people who have been vaccinated. I believe you're going to be hearing more of the recommendations of how you can relax the stringency of some of the things, particularly when you're dealing with something like your own personal family when people have been vaccinated, Fauci said, adding that he expected this guidance pretty soon, and we'll bring that for you right here. Pfizer is saying that they're expecting to ship and deliver more than 13 million doses per week of their COVID-19 vaccine by the middle of March, more than doubling its shipments from early February, a top Pfizer executive said in a prepared testimony ahead of a Tuesday congressional hearing. They're on track to deliver 120 million doses of Pfizer's two-dose regimen by the end of March, said John Young, Pfizer's chief business officer. They're also prepared to provide a total of 300 million shots to the United States end of July and have raised global production expectations for 2021 to at least 2 billion doses, Young said. And while that is happening, Manajan, yesterday we shared that a sobering number that was there over here in the United States is that we're inching towards 500,000 US COVID-19 deaths. President Joe Biden led Americans in observing a moment of silence on Monday to commemorate the grim milestone of more than 500,000 US deaths from COVID-19, urging Americans to set aside partisan differences and to fight this pandemic together. Today we mark a truly grim, heartbreaking milestone, 500,071 dead. That's more Americans than have died in 1 year in this pandemic than in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War combined, Biden said in emotional remarks at the White House. But as we acknowledge the scale of this mass death in America, we remember each person and the life that they lived. They are people we knew, is what he said. So and also it was followed by a moment of silence. So do you have any updates for us on the COVID, Altibaba?
Well, here's the thing, there's a plus and there's a minus kind of a thing. It's like the happy news and there's the morbid, sad news. In fact, as of yesterday, we've had around 233 new deaths.
Oh, wow.
Due to COVID. It's actually around the entire state. As I told you, we're inching close to 50,000 total deaths in California, which actually adds quite a bit to the overall 500,000, death toll in COVID virus in the entire USA actually. The one positive note here is entire California, I think the rate of increase of the virus as positive cases has kind of dropped to 0.1%, right? And but let me warn everybody over here, our neighbors and everybody else, Alameda County and Santa Clara County, locally it has not changed much. We still are having around close to 250 to 300 cases, both the Alameda and Santa Clara County respectively, which means there's still an increase of cases coming up. So you got to be careful about that. Though the death toll actually, for the past 2-3 days, if at all, I'm watching that also because it kind of talks a lot about how what an impact it's had on people. It is a real impact. Please understand that even if you've had a vaccination, or many of our friends and everybody have got the vaccines, but please, you still have to maintain those safety protocols, which is wearing a mask, washing your hands, wearing gloves when you deal with things and everything. Also make sure you're leading a healthy life, eat healthy, live healthy, and be happy as much as possible, because it is actually taking a toll on people. In fact, they're saying that after the vaccination, Faltwani, I was reading a very interesting article which actually talked about the fact that the unseen impact of the COVID vaccine is not just the physiological part of it. There's going to be a huge bang or a hit on the people's psychology of stuff also. Not only with school-going kids, it's actually very, very evident, but in also adults who are staying at home and working, or anybody for the matter.
Right.
It's the trauma, actually, psychological trauma is still yet to be assessed. That has not been assessed as of now. The only thing right now people are scrambling around is to get the vaccination first of all, resume their lives. Well, if you want more information about that, we'll provide the links for you guys on news blog media mahima.com. What else do we have as news for today?
Well, the other news is the Senate is busy because they are weighing, they're interviewing and they're interrogating a lot of Biden's nominees as come into play. Deb Haaland, if you remember, the first Native American to be nominated for Interior Secretary, and it's a historic pick, Banajan. She will seek to reassure lawmakers that she will balance energy interests with climate goals as the top administrator of America's public lands on Tuesday. Haaland, a Democratic congresswoman from New Mexico, would be the first Native American to take on a U.S. cabinet position if lawmakers confirm her after today's Senate hearing. She would also have a vital role in implementing the Biden administration's sweeping policies to fight global warming and protect the environment. In the meanwhile, there are two candidates who are really getting a lot of heat from the Senate. But President Biden is standing strong behind his cabinet picks who are facing uphill battles, which includes Neera Tanden. She's the nominee for the Office of Management and Budget, and Javier Becerra, Biden's pick for Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, as a growing number of senators have vowed to oppose their confirmations. Tanden's confirmation appears to be the most in jeopardy after several swing vote senators, including one Democrat, announced plans to vote against her confirmation. The former president of the Liberal Center for American Progress repeatedly came under fire during her confirmation hearing as Republicans pointed to hostile tweets she posted against various lawmakers, many of which she deleted late last year. During that hearing, Senator Ron Portman, a Republican from Ohio, gave examples of the few thousands of negative public statements Tanden has made. These included her calling Senator Susan Collins of Maine the worst, Senator Tom Cotton a fraud, saying that vampires have more heart than Ted Cruz. So she's coming under a lot of fire for that. And the other person who is coming and under fire is Javier Becerra right now, because they're saying that he's not favored by the pharma industry at all, by the insurance industry, but he's a really close pick of all the healthcare people. Everybody in healthcare, the doctors, the nurses, and everybody in healthcare, they like Javier Becerra, but insurance and pharma companies don't like him. So he's also going to face a lot of pushback for his confirmation. Conservative groups have also taken issue with Becerra leading the HHS amid the coronavirus pandemic, saying that he has no healthcare experience and instead that a doctor or a public healthcare expert should be leading the department. But Biden's transition spokesperson Andrew Bates defended Becerra, saying that he has decades of healthcare policy experience, has worked with Republicans and Democrats to expand access to COVID treatments and take on opioid manufacturers while leading the largest Department of Justice in this country. He was, if you remember, California's Attorney General. Bates also added that Becerra has a strong record to lower costs for patients. That's why insurance companies don't like him. Let's also tell you that victims of 2019 Florida-based attack, families of 3 U.S. service members who were killed and 13 others who were wounded in a shooting by a Saudi gunman at Pensacola Naval Air Station in Florida, have sued Saudi Arabia for damages. The complaint, which was filed on Monday in a federal court in the city of Pensacola, alleged that Saudi Arabia had known about this gunman being radicalized and that it could have prevented killings. Saudi authorities have not responded for comment yet. Over 7.9 million Texans are still facing issues with their water supply as of last night, authorities told Reuters, after a record-breaking freeze knocked out power stations last week. Millions of Texans were advised to boil water before using it, though all power plants were back online over the weekend and power has restored to most homes as the weather has returned to normal. In international news, Facebook will restore Australian news pages, ending an unprecedented week-long blackout after wringing concessions from the government over a proposed law that will require tech giants to pay traditional media companies for their content. Both sides claimed victory in the clash, which has drawn global attention as countries including Canada and Britain consider similar steps to rein in dominant tech platforms and preserve media diversity. While some analysts said Facebook had defended its lucrative model of collecting ad money for clicks on the news that it shows, others said compromise, which includes a deal on how to resolve disputes, could pay off for the media industry, or at least for publishers with reach and political clout. So you were right, Alto Baba. It is about how powerful Facebook is. You were talking about that, but you said something about GOP. Congressman actually. What do you call strong?
No. Facebook was concerned about the conservatives on their platform.
Oh.
So they seem to be talking more to the conservatives as opposed to, or concerned more about conservatives as opposed to the regular people.
Correct. Oh. Well, either ways, let's tell you, Banajan, some people are not happy today because a dive in Bitcoin's price this week spilled onto Tesla shares, shaving off more than $110 billion off the electric car maker's value and some $20 billion from CEO Elon Musk's net worth, while slamming exchange-traded funds holding the stock. Bitcoin slumped as much as 17.2% earlier in the day, setting a tone of weakness across cryptocurrency markets as investors exited leveraged bets. It was recently down 10.8%.
It had to happen, right? When you actually have bought it for, let's say, $1,000 and it goes $50,000, everybody will actually sell and make money.
Yeah. Even Tesla shares went down 7.3%. To $662.30 as U.S. markets open. The electric car maker last month disclosed $1.5 billion investment in Bitcoin. And in news from India, Banajan, the BJP is set to retain power in all 6 municipalities of that, winning at least 449 of the total 576 seats till Tuesday evening. Counting is still underway in a few constituencies. The result was a shot in the arm for the Saffron Party, which suffered a sound defeat at the hands of Congress in the recent Punjab civic polls. So Prime Minister Modi saying that it's a grand victory. And of course, a Delhi High Court on Tuesday granted bail to Bangalore-based climate activist Disha Ravi in the toolkit case, saying that the creation of a WhatsApp group or being an editor of a toolkit document does not amount to an offense. And she was granted bail. And finally, farmers are going to be ghirawing the parliament. A farmer leader, Rakesh Tikait, said on Tuesday that if the centre does not repeal the 3 new agricultural laws, the protesting farmers are going to gheraw parliament. He appealed to farmers to be ready as the call for Delhi March can be given any time. More information about all of this, Banajan, by going to mediamahima.com.
Alright, Banajan, with this we're going to be saying have a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you live at 5 with the Pam Pam show in the evening. Banajan, tab tak ke liye aap log, as already said that, Banajan, have a terrific Tuesday.